Hello, my name is Chris. I like to talk about pop culture, and today I am talking about how David Dobrik does not know what the word consent means. That's it, that's a video, and before I get into this is something that I would normally talk about on TikTok, but I am on a TikTok break, so I'm talking about it here, but also I'm taking a chance to talk about it here because I don't know what it is, most young men, well, I do know what it is. Most young men don't understand what consent is, so I'm going to use this as a chance to talk about how we should be thinking about consent in any case, right? So this is going to be specifically about consent in the context of vlogs and video situations, where there's a camera out. But feel free to extradite this information to anything that you want. Also, feel free to fight me in the comments if you would like. Okay, so if you don't know, if you haven't been aware on the David Dobrik situation, first of all, David Dobrik was is one of the most prominent YouTubers. He's one of the ones that has successfully crossed over into like mainstream media-ish. And he has his vlogs, and there's the vlog squad where it was him and his friends doing crazy stuff in LA. Okay. This past month, though, there's been a lot of accusations of misconduct of things coming out against David Dobrik and the vlog squad from past vlog squad members. So I think this all started with the Frenemies podcast and Trisha bringing up her experience with the vlog squad and David Dobrik again, because she used to date Jason. Well, I addressed Trisha a couple times here. But I think it started because she brought it up again, and then again on Frenemies and the H3 podcast. That's where a lot of this information is coming from, where a lot of these ex-members have gone to talk about it. All of the misconduct's the best word I have, but it covers racism and cruel pranks, specifically regarding the commercial pranks with Seth, who was one of the only members of color of the vlog squad, harsh jokes about Big Nick and his condition. I don't know actually what the correct terminology for his condition is. I don't know if he's ever shared that, so I'm not gonna say, but they've made jokes about his condition. That Big Nick, even specifically on his, when he went on the H3, it was either Frenemies or H3. When he went on one of those podcasts, he expressed how those jokes were kind of crossing into his real life, and people that he didn't know would be making jokes about him, and that made him uncomfortable. And then of course the massive amounts of sexism, because in the vlog squad, if you were a woman on screen, you were often the butt of very sexual jokes. For example, the Trisha, Tana, Jason situation, where Trisha said multiple times she was not okay with the jokes or the bits they were doing, and they did it anyways. So, and then last week, an article came out stating that a woman was assaulted during one of David's videos, and that vlog was taken down, but it did happen by Dom, who was part of the vlog squad and one of David's friends, and that he was in the situation and had directed people to drink and become intoxicated for views, I guess. I don't know. So in response, right, David himself has posted 2 apologies. I'm reading notes. David himself has posted 2 apologies, right? The first one is 2 minutes long and is vague as hell and is very like PR form put it together, right? And he made some questionable points about consent changing and how he always takes videos down, but that, you know what, like, whatever he said, that's not even like, that was a bullshit apology, and he knew it because he posted a second apology that was longer, 7 minutes long, and was very more specific. It was more specific, but only really addressed the article and didn't really address any of the other accusations of misconduct. Yeah, so he really only apologized to the victims of the article, victims in that Business Insider article. There are a ton of Frenemy podcasts. There are a ton of videos of people on both sides. I encourage you to look it up. Go to your favorite YouTuber and see their coverage, because they properly covered it, to learn more about that. That's just the crux of the situation. I'm only really focusing on David Dobrik because he's the name behind all of this, and he kind of like skirted by for so long as the brand. Because if you notice, none of these are directly against David, but it's definitely part of the culture that he fostered on his channel in his videos, to make his videos very successful. And let me just say, people have been calling out David Dobrik since 2018, right? They've been calling him out for a couple years, like 3 years now, but he hasn't really caught any shit until now, because he handles this. Usually he handles things and issues like this quietly. He'll quietly remove videos. He'll quietly apologize behind the scenes, you know? But then publicly he'll just push past and keep posting videos. So the reason he can't do that now is because it's been so long since some of these things happened, and so many of these things piled up, that he now needs to address it because he's losing a lot of money. And also there's liability now with the Business Insider article out there saying that his environment fostered the potential and probably assault of a woman. So he has to deal with all that now. And so what I take from all of this, what I take from his apologies, from all these stories, is that David doesn't understand what consent is, right? His understanding of consent as it stands is just basically a text. Hey, can I post this video? And then, yeah, sure, you can post this video, right? But that's such a small, like, that yes, you can post a video doesn't even encompass everything that needs to be addressed before you can consider somebody having consent, especially for videos like this that are going to such a wide audience, right? To my understanding, it was very much like either you consent to what's happening in the videos or I stop hanging out with you and you lose my outreach, right? And that's something that Trisha particularly highlighted, in that, you know what, like, when I was against the Tana joke, they did it anyways, and then I was left out and cut out of videos. So, and mind you, people in the Vlog Squad are not profiting from David Dobrik's videos. Just David Dobrik is profiting, right? It's not like for frenemies, like, Trisha gets a cut, right? But, like, as far as my understanding, David Dobrik is the one that reaps all of the benefits from the YouTube videos, and then the people in the Vlog Squad might catch fans that go and offshoot to their own channels, right? So it's kind of important to be in the video if you're not going to get paid otherwise. So when David was creating Vlog Squad environments, the way I feel like he set up consent was just, I'm going to film whatever happens. You do something crazy, you get more on-air camera time, right? And you can tell me later if you're cool with it being public. But if you're not cool with it being public and you object to anything that I did, that's going to cause issues, and I'm going to stop filming with you, and you're going to stop being able to benefit from my end of things. And that's fucked up. That's fucked up, because some of these pranks, some of the things he did, some of the jokes he's made in these videos, you know what? Like, people need to be able to say, no, actually, that's over the line, and we need to be able to draw strict boundaries between our public personas and our personal lives. And David A didn't do that, and B never listened to anybody when they did say no anyways. So I don't really know how he's going to be out here and being like, oh, well, I got consent. No, you didn't. No, you did not. And not, at any point did you have consent for any of this. I can't even say that he had consent to post the videos, because there were people that felt like they couldn't say no. And that's not consent either, right? And even the people who were like, yeah, you know what, whatever, I'm okay with it, right? They didn't know what was happening during the filming until it happens, so that doesn't count. And the thing that David does not have in any of these videos, right? David Dobrik does not have in any of these videos, right? Is enthusiastic, informed consent. Informed, enthusiastic consent, whatever way you want to throw those words. They're both equally important, right? Before any actor goes onto the set of a movie, right? They're informed of what's happening on set that day. They know what's in the script. They know what they're filming, right? Like, yeah, there might be some room for improv, but they know roughly what's happening on a movie set before they walk onto it. And they have the ability to say, no, I'm not comfortable, before and during and after filming, right? That's not the case with these David Dobrik vlogs, right? Whenever anyone participates in a science experiment, any science, or even like that topical vaccine experiments, they're provided with information beforehand so they can give their informed consent. I'll tell you right now, I was lucky enough to be vaccinated. I do have asthma, and so in my state, people with asthma can get vaccinated now. I was able to get a vaccine. They hand you a pamphlet of information about the vaccine before they give it to you. Like, the nurse will sit there and say, okay, at least in my state, will say, okay, like, here's the information, go over it with you, make sure that she can answer any, or the nurse answers any of your questions so you are informed before you get the vaccine, right? Like, that's what happened. Like, that's informed consent, right? If I had said no, I could have refused the vaccine and it would have been fine. I could have waited. That being said, go get vaccinated. Go get vaccinated. And so what was happening is that in these vlogs, these pranks, these jokes, these happenings, not everybody there was on the same page, and not everyone there was informed about what was happening as it was happening. And so you can't really get consent after, because if somebody before, say that the commercial pranks with Seth were faked, right? The only way that that's okay to post is that Seth knew that he was faking this prank and that they were faking a prank and he was acting the entire time, and then consented to post, right? You can't prank him and spook him like that and embarrass him like that and then say, oh, can I post it because it's funny? Like, that's not, like, that's cruel to him. That was cruel. And on it, like, David was just is way more concerned with filming something interesting than the safety of people in his vlogs, and that's eventually how someone got assaulted. Like, I'm not surprised. My heart goes out to the victim. I really hope that she gets justice, but I'm also not surprised that this environment fostered that event to happen. So take this lesson with you before you do anything that could be considered a risky. Have informed, enthusiastic consent. Make sure that people are informed about what's happening and are 100% on board with what's happening, right? Make sure that people know that, you know what, like, you are being, like, we're going to do a prank, right? Or make sure that people know that, hey, we're going to joke about your boyfriend sleeping with somebody else, right? And make sure that they're okay with it, right? Because there is a situation, and I do think there could be a really good YouTube niche of scripted vlogs, right? Scripted vlog content. So Saturday, right? So a situation where you can do crazy things, right? But it's scripted. So there's characters. Maybe you script a storyline through all of it that's really interesting. You know, I think there's space for that on YouTube. That's just not what David Dobrik was at all. So, and then the last thing I just want to say, this is a quick point about Trisha, right? The Vlog Squad, and therefore David Dobrik, because his name is synonymous with the Vlog Squad, and he did not stop any of this from happening. He just sat back and watched it happen, so he's complicit. They spent a lot of time trying to discredit Trisha because of what she was saying against them, because she was one of the ones that brought allegations and shit up early. They spent a lot of time trying to discredit her because of her mental illness, right? And this is the same stuff, like, Shane and Jeffrey did this to Trisha too. Like, I could definitely see the parallels. And now, like, I'm not entirely team Trisha. I definitely have my reservations. I think she has done a lot of harm with things that she's said and done in her past. And I think a lot of her apologies that she had are not mine to accept. But I also do think she's in a better, more stable place, right? I do think that she has a diagnosis now, and a doctor, and a fiance, and she's, you know, on a consistent podcast. Her and Ethan from H3, they're friends, they're about to be in-laws, right? Like, I do think she's in a better place now. I just want to say that even though she has an official diagnosis, and even though she has made mistakes in her past, right? Like, the Vlog Squad spent a lot of time trying to discredit a woman and call her crazy because she has a mental illness and to save their own ass. Like, that was what was happening. They decided that because Trisha has, I think, a condition that sometimes gets out of control, which is fine. Listen, I have depression and anxiety. Sometimes I can't control it either. Some days are better than others. Trisha, I believe, has a personality disorder. And again, those are a little bit different, more serious. But like, they tried very hard and successfully also had discredited her for a while. And I think that we, and even myself too, right, need to analyze what we actually think about Trisha and what's actually true about Trisha, because there's a lot of rumors and stuff around her. Yes, she's been messy. Yes, she's said harmful things, right? And so if you're one of the individuals or one of the groups that she said harmful things about, you know, you absolutely don't have to forgive her at all. Like, you don't, it's up to you. And that's why I'm not entirely Team Trisha, because I think that those issues are still up in the air. But I do just want to point out that there were groups that were very intent on discrediting what she said in those early days because of her illness. And that's wrong. It was wrong of David Dobrik to do that. And so that's my Trisha point. This was very short. Oh my gosh, a short video from me? Oh my god. That's what scripting is. That's really all I have to say. I never was a fan of the Vlog Squad or David Dobrik at all, ever. I didn't really particularly like them. I've never really watched them. It was just not my thing. And now we see why. So anyways, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Social media's below. I'm mostly on Twitter. I will put my TikTok down there because I am intending to return, but I probably will not make a full, like, effort return until May this year because I'm very busy end of March into April. And yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think about David Dobrik in the comments. I don't know if I'm going to give an update to this. I don't know how much of an update there's going to be. He's been losing brand deals up the wazoo. He said he's going away for a little while. So I think this is pretty much it on the David Dobrik situation. What I will say though, I saw a comment somewhere, I don't know if it was Twitter or Reddit, that said that Shane Dawson was crying because he couldn't do his shitty, like, little documentaries about this. And I will say, do not count your chickens before they hatch. Do not, like, don't put it past Shane Dawson and David Dobrik to, like, Shane is on the phone right now being like, we can make a comeback together. Right now. A very similar issue. If you think about the situations, very similar situations where Shane Dawson tried to discredit women, including Trisha, tried to discredit women and what they were saying about their experience dealing with him. And then the racism. Very similar situations. Do not be surprised if come September we see this massive, like, David Dobrik and Shane Dawson, the Fallen Angels of YouTube, like, stupid ass 30-part documentary. And you know what? I'm a sucker. I'll watch all of it. Okay, thank you for watching. Leave a comment. Fight me about what consent means. Social in the description. Like, subscribe. I love you.